خالفتم أقوال الشيوخ فأنتم.
Geo, child of God.
Can you hear me?
I could hear you, my man.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, I hear you.
Hey, Geo.
Say Jesus.
Remember? Geo, come back to the screen.
Can you hear me?
You know, I posted a video on you that had 40K views, right? How does that feel?
How does what feel?
How does it feel that you gave me 40,000 views while you got baked on my YouTube channel?
That's what's up.
That's what's up. All right. Well, how can I help you today, man?
You believe that Jesus is a Muslim?
Yeah. I believe that using the historical critical method with the relevant data, I think that suggests that the historical Jesus was a Muslim.
So you're not speaking from the scripture?
No, I'm speaking about the historical Jesus.
How do you know about this historical Jesus?
Using the historical critical method.
No, but how do you know about the historical Jesus?
I just answered using the historical critical method to analyze the relevant data.
And what is this relevant data?
It's all the texts that we could have access to close to the time of Christ. So it would be like the Gospels, it would be Thomas, it would be Peter, it would be Q, it would be everything.
Okay, easy. So according to the Gospels, Jesus is a Muslim?
According to the relevant data when analyzed with the historical critical method. Are you not listening to my answer? Do you know what the historical critical method is?
Yes, which you have introduced as the gospel.
What's the historical critical method?
When I literally asked you what that was, you literally mentioned all the sources.
What's the historical critical method?
Yeah, I mean, for you, you'd probably be taking, what is it, to be the 6 pillars, 5 articles of faith? Or 6 articles of faith, 5 pillars?
What the? I said the historical critical method. What's 6 articles of faith, dude? Do you know what the historical...
Yes, you just...
Do you know what the historical critical method is?
Yeah, you're supposed to be...
You can say, I don't know, bro. You can just say, I don't know. Like, why do you got... Bro, why can't you say, I don't know? So I could tell you.
Well, it's whatever, I guess, evidence you're using to prove that this historical figure was a Muslim. Not whether when the sources are going to be authentic.
Sir, do you think historians grant that everything in the Gospels is true? Is that how it works?
Say one more time. You lagged out for me.
When historians analyze the data, do they assume that everything in the Gospels is true? Or do they have a certain methodology to use when determining what goes back to him and what doesn't?
Sure, of course they have like a historical criteria. Yeah.
All right, good. So then just because they rely on the Gospels for the data and other texts, it doesn't mean that everything in there is true. Correct?
Well, if you're doing an internal critique, you have to accept the source as it being true.
I'm not doing an internal critique. Who's doing an internal critique?
So then why are you asking Christians to come up then?
Because I want to discuss whether the historical Jesus was a Muslim or not. What the heck does that have to do with an internal critique?
But this historical Jesus is going to be pertaining to what we have,
no, it's not.
Meaning the Gospel,
the
New Testament, Epistle.
No.
Yes, it is.
The historical Jesus The historical Jesus pertains to all the relevant data that we have. It has nothing to do with Orthodox Christianity.
Literally, what you have, I guess, brought this data was everything that you mentioned, which is pertaining to the New Testament.
Is Thomas part of the New Testament?
Oh, so you take agnostic gospels?
No, we take all the relevant data. Orthodoxy.
How can it be relevant data?
Because orthodoxy and heterodoxy are not considered in historical research.
And you think forgeristic gospels are?
Prove it's a forgery. Before you prove it's a forgery, what is a forgery?
Yeah, forgery is just going to be a falsified source pertaining to...
Falsified source according to who?
Yeah, it's going to be pertaining to either a figure or an event that happened, but it's just going to be something that's either not proven to be authentic or something
What
that's
proves
just,
it to be authentic?
yeah, I mean, if you go to, for an example, the early church economical
Yeah, I
councils.
just told you historians have nothing to do with orthodoxy or heterodoxy. That's not
Okay,
how
but
historians
historians
look at
now
data.
are predominant. Okay, so what
Historians don't
historians?
give a shit what happened on a table at Nicaea. They don't give a
So what
dookie.
historians? What historians believe Jesus is a Muslim? That is not, I
Yeah,
guess, believing in God.
yeah. James D. Tabor says that the earliest Jesus Christology aligns with Islamic Christology.
And what is he pulling from? What source?
He's pulling from all the relevant data. His main relevant data in his research in the Jesus dynasty is from Q. It's from James. It's from the Didache, the Shepherd of Hermas, the Pseudo-Clementine homilies and recognitions, and other. And he pulls from Thomas as well, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So again, I would just reject most of those sources.
You just asked me for a scholar. Now it doesn't matter. Anyways, so. Yeah, so when historians want to analyze a text and see if it's historical, they use a methodology, they use criterias, right? Because historians don't just grant that everything in the Gospels is true. They just grant that the Gospels are an early text and they present the earliest information we can get our hands on. Whether they're true or not, it doesn't matter. They find that out later, but the Gospels as raw material is the earliest data, or some of the earliest data that we can get our hands on. Doesn't mean that everything in there is true, because Thomas is as early as any other New Testament document. It's dated from 50 to 120. That's as early as any other New Testament text. But you don't think it's true just because it's early. So the Gospels, just because they're early, we don't grant that everything in there is true. We use rigorous methodology, rigorous criteria to find out what is true or not. When we use these criteria like independent attestation, contextual credibility, criteria of embarrassment, criteria of dissimilarity, when we apply these to the New Testament, the relevant data, we could draw an image of what the historical Jesus taught. And that image is always more in alignment with Islam than any Christian denomination.
Yeah, again, right? So then you asking for Christians to come up would just be pointless.
Why is it pointless to talk about history? Is history pointless?
Well, I just don't believe that you're just kind of bringing in a story and opinion, not really just like a collective
whose opinion should I bring then? Some random Greek pagan bishop on a table 300 years later?
Well, it's going to be something that's more of like a multiple attestation or just multiple independent sources that all
multiple independent attestation. That's one of the criteria. That's why some of the traditions in the Gospels are wrong, because they're not.
Well, that's what you think. Okay, so are you going to hold to historians who come later, or are you going to hold to early Christians?
Yeah, so early Christians did believe in what I'm talking about, and historians who come later develop a methodology to find out what those early Christians believed.
Okay, so what early Christian?
The Jamesonian community.
And who is this?
Yeah, all Jewish Christians under the leadership of James the Just, the Jerusalem church.
And they all affirm he was a Muslim.
Yep, they affirm that he's an apocalyptic prophet, not divine, not ontological son of God, that he was a teacher, a sage, a rabbi, he taught the Torah. He abrogated some of the Torahs, that he died and that he'll come back.
Do they believe he's the Son of Man?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, so you don't know?
I said I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you can't really provide that, then there's really no.
Let's say they did believe he's the Son of Man. What? So what?
Well, yeah. So if they believe he's the Son of. Yeah. So then you're saying, or you're affirming that at the same time, in the same sense, they believe he's a Muslim and not a Muslim.
Wait, how is them believing he's the Son of Man make them not a Muslim?
Well, because in order to be the Son of Man is going to be pertaining to the prophecy, right?
Yeah, what about the prophecy invalidates Islam?
Well, you believe the Son of Man is Muhammad.
Yeah, I believe that the Son of Man is no. So the Son of Man is a nation, as interpreted by Daniel 7. I'm saying the leader of that Son of Man nation is Muhammad, and Jesus is one of the leaders of the Son of Man nation that comes in the end times. So Jesus is included in the kingdom of the Son of Man because he is that eschatological king who rules that kingdom in the end times.
So how many kingdoms are Daniel's prophecy that pertains to Islam?
What do you mean, how many kingdoms?
Well, because you believe there's only one everlasting kingdom, right? And that's God's kingdom?
Yeah, and Jesus is part of that everlasting kingdom.
So how many partners in this kingdom do you have?
What do you mean partners?
Well, you said Muhammad was a king, right, of this kingdom?
Yeah, he's one of the kings of this kingdom.
And there's only one kingdom which only belongs to Allah, correct?
There's only one kingdom, right? Just like the Roman Empire was one kingdom with many kings, right?
Okay, but doesn't your Quran state that Allah does not have a partner in His dominion?
Yeah,
or governing His kingdom?
Right, and the same Quran says that Allah gives dominion to whom He wants and takes them away from whom He wants.
So you're from a contradiction.
No, it's not a contradiction. Allah has dominion ultimately. He gives dominion that's temporal. The creature.
Okay, so can you show me where in the verse it says He gives temporal dominion?
Yeah, He gives dominion to whom He wants and takes it away from whom He wants.
No, but do you know what verse I'm referring to when He says He does not share and
yes,
He doesn't have a partner dominion?
Yeah, that's ultimate dominion.
Okay, where does it say ultimate dominion?
It's inference in the text.
So somebody who is not God inferred that or inserted his own interpretation.
No, it's very clear. When Allah says that He alone has sovereignty, just like the Bible says God alone has sovereignty. But the same Bible says that others have sovereignty. Correct?
I don't know what verse you're referring to.
All right. Well, you're telling me that the Bible doesn't say that God alone is sovereign?
I never said that. I'm just not gonna admit to something I'm not knowledgeable.
Well, let's pull up the verse. Here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 39. Acknowledge. Hold on. Wait, yeah, here we go. Sorry, not Psalm. Psalm 22:28. For kingship belongs to the Lord, and He rules over the nations. Correct?
Yes, of course.
1 second, my camera. All right. Can you see me? All right. So does kingship belong to the Lord?
I guess if you would be referring to like heavenly kingship, yes.
Where does it say that in the text? Are you putting your own interpretation?
Well, no, because Jesus says, "My kingdom is not of this world," so it's not an earthly kingdom.
You know how He just baked Himself, and He rules over the nations. Is that earthly or heavenly?
Yeah, He can rule over. Yes, He can rule over the nations, but that doesn't mean that. It says,
"For kingship belongs to the Lord; He rules over the nations." So He's king over the nations, right?
Because He's a supreme deity, but His kingdom itself is a heavenly kingdom. But hold on.
Good. Is He king over the nations?
Listen, but His kingdom Himself, the kingdom that He establishes, is a kingdom of heaven.
Does God?
That doesn't mean that.
Sir, does God have dominion over everything?
Because He's the supreme being, yes.
Right. So He alone has dominion over everything, right?
But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean His kingdom is earthly, dude.
Who said His kingdom is earthly? What are you talking
That's
about?
what I'm literally. That's literally what I'm saying.
Does God have dominion alone?
Yeah, because He's supreme. He's uncontingent.
All right, good. So how could others have dominion also?
This is not the same dominion.
Okay. Yeah, night. There you go. So Allah has dominion alone. Nobody shares in His dominion because He ultimately owns everything, because He created everything alone. But He gives kingship to whom He wants and takes it away from whom He wants.
Okay, so how many partners in governing Allah's kingdom do you have?
None, because He's the only ultimate governor. How many governors?
Okay, so what does it mean?
How many?
What does it mean?
How many? Wait. How many partners does? How many part? Hey, stop. How many part? Why are you panicking?
How many kings? No. I'm still answering. Bro, I answered all your questions.
You just asked me a question. I answered. It's my turn.
Was I done answering? Was
it's my turn to talk.
Okay, so when you ask me 3 questions in a row, I can't ask you 3 questions in a row?
You could ask questions. Let me talk. Let me finish.
Okay, thank you. Hold on.
Stop panicking.
Let me answer my question.
Yo, he's panicking right now.
It was a clarifying question, dude.
All right,
clarifying question.
Go ahead.
How many kings of this kingdom do you have?
How many kings of what kingdom? The 5th kingdom of God?
Yes, which you believe is to be the one kingdom.
There's many kings, and there's one ultimate king.
So how many? So you have multiple kings in one kingdom?
One ultimate king and many kings that succeed one another.
Can you provide me an example of many kings?
Yeah. So then Muhammad is the first king, then his successor, then his successor, then his successor, all the way to Jesus. But the ultimate king is God because he's the one who institutes it.
No, I'm saying within reality, outside of your paradigm.
Within reality. What does within reality mean? We're talking about so within my paradigm.
Yes. Within an actual example of a kingdom. Can you show me an example where there can be multiple one king? Can you show me where there's more than one king?
In the same prophecy in Daniel chapter 7, Daniel tells us that the 4th kingdom had 10 kings baked. Does the 4th kingdom have 10 kings?
Were they all ruling at the same time?
I didn't say they rule at the same time. When did I say they rule at the same time?
Thank you. So does Muhammad, Allah, and Jesus rule at the same time?
No.
Oh, they don't?
Who said they? No.
So why does Jesus claim to be the Son of Man then?
He doesn't claim to be the Son of Man.
He doesn't claim to be the Son of Man?
No, I don't believe the historical.
Are you sure?
Claims to be the Son of Man. Yeah.
Oh, now you're doing an internal critique. You quoted from my scripture.
I'm not doing an internal critique. I'm telling you the historical.
Did you quote the Bible?
Just because I quote the Bible doesn't mean I'm doing an internal critique.
Hold on. When you quote the Bible, though, are you asserting that this is your primary source that you're using?
No.
Okay, so then why'd you quote it?
Because I'm using the historical critical method with the relevant data.
Okay, so you're not quoting from the scripture to prove your point.
I'm quoting from the relevant data using the historical critical method.
Okay, so if I reject this historical critical method because it aligns with
on what basis?
Yeah, for the simple fact that when you're quoting from my scripture, I'm allowed to use anywhere in my scripture, and it cannot contradict.
That's only if I'm doing an internal critique.
Okay, so again, are you using the source that you quoted from as a true, authentic source? Yes or no?
No, I'm using the relevant data I quoted from with the relevant historical critical method that I use it to analyze the text that I'm analyzing, that I'm quoting. Sorry.
Okay, so is the text that you're quoting from, is it true or false?
Based on the historical critical method.
Yes, is it true or false?
Depending on the historical critical method, I just answered.
So whatever historical critical method that you're using, according to this method, is what you quoted true or false?
That's what denotes it true or false.
Okay, so is it true or false?
Is what true or false?
The very scriptures, you quoted me scriptures.
Are you not listening? When we quote, when we used relevant data, the historical critical method is what determines what is true or false. Are you stupid?
Okay, and according to this data, is it true or false?
It can't all be true because the very method is there to determine what is true and what is false. Are you stupid?
So there's a middle grounding?
Yo, what does that mean? Yo, this
something has to be either true or false, correct?
No.
Hold on, so the law of excluded middle doesn't state that?
That doesn't apply. The law of excluded middle doesn't apply here.
Also, the laws of logic aren't universal?
They're universal. I'm just saying it doesn't apply here. When we say can I finish?
Go ahead.
Is the Quran true or false?
It's false.
Does it have true things?
Nope.
Oh, so Jesus is not the Messiah?
Yeah, that's not the real Jesus, so no.
So is it true?
Isa is not the real Messiah, no.
So wait, the Quran is not talking about the historical Jesus?
No.
All right, what scholar says that?
I don't quote from scholars.
All right, does the Quran say that Christians believe in the Trinity?
To who? Christians?
Yep.
Yes, Christians believe in Trinity.
Is that true?
Yes.
So the Quran is true?
No.
Law of excluded middle. It's either true or false. Law of excluded middle.
That's not how it works.
No. Law of excluded middle. Yeah. Wait, they're not. Are they not universal? Are the law of excluded middle is universal? Is the Quran true or false?
Well, is it me that's lagging? Hold on.
Yeah, you're lagging.
I think I'm lagging. You like froze for me.
Hey, brother, I know you're trying to run, bro. We know you're trying to run, dog. Yeah, he's trying to run.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect.
All right, so why doesn't the law of
state your question again?
Why doesn't the law of the middle work here? Why doesn't it apply here? Sorry.
It does apply. The source is still false.
So the Quran is true or false?
It's false.
It's false, but there's truth in it.
And that's what you believe. I don't believe that, no.
You just said that you believe in a Trinity. The Quran says you believe in a Trinity. Is that true?
It thinks it's three gods, does it not?
No, it's accusing that the entailment is three gods.
Okay, yeah, so the Quran entailing that it's three gods would be false.
I'm not asking about that. I'm saying the Quran says you believe in a Trinity. Is that a true proposition or a false proposition?
The Trinity as in one God, three persons?
That you believe in a Trinity.
Yeah, as in one God, three persons?
It doesn't use that language in the Quran. It just says you believe in a Trinity. Is that true?
So, okay, so does it say that we worship one God, yes or no?
No.
Oh, okay, then no, that's false.
So you don't worship a Trinity?
I worship one God, three persons.
Do you worship a Trinity?
That is one God, three persons.
Yeah. Does the Quran say you worship a Trinity?
Not in the way that I believe, no.
So the Quran doesn't say you worship a Trinity?
No, because it says we worship multiple gods.
So there's nothing true in the Quran? The Quran doesn't make any true propositions?
From what I've read, and according to theology or about Jesus or about any of the early Christians, no.
So there's not a single thing the Quran says that is true about reality?
I mean, pertaining to what we believe as Christians, no.
Pertaining to anything?
I mean, maybe like moral good deeds, but that's still...
Is it true? So it's true. All right, the same dilemma then. Law of excluded middle.
Well, no, because I don't take... No, because I don't quote the Quran. I don't quote the Quran to prove my arguments that would be in this.
Right, because the Quran is not a historical text.
It's not.
It's not. We shouldn't expect to use the Quran to find out anything about the historical Jesus.
Oh, okay. So was he crucified?
Historically, the attestation says he was crucified. As a supernatural claim, it says that he wasn't crucified.
Okay, but hold on. Can you prove the supernatural claim?
Yeah, so supernatural claims require supernatural evidence, right?
Yeah. So can you go ahead and show me?
Are you looking for historical evidence?
Does history record supernatural evidence?
Are you looking for historical evidence?
Hold on. Does history record supernatural events?
It can. This case, it can't.
Oh, okay. So you can actually prove he was crucified or not crucified, right?
Yeah. So I said it can. This case, it can't. Can you engage?
Oh, okay. So Jesus was crucified according to history.
I'm saying according to historical attestation, yes.
So according to historical attestation, your Quran is false.
No, according to the historical attestation, my Quran is true. You want the evidence?
Well, hold on. But does it say that he was crucified?
You want just say I want the evidence.
Hold on. Does it say
he was crucified? Don't hold on. Do you want the evidence? You should want the evidence.
You're saying, hold on. No.
Look,
you caught yourself.
He's panicking.
You caught yourself.
He's
caught yourself. You literally caught yourself.
All right. I'm gonna let him finish so he can stop panicking.
Go ahead. You said according to historical data, Jesus is a Muslim. Therefore, what we believe as Christians is false. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. According to historical data, was Jesus crucified?
Yeah.
Does that contradict the Quran?
No.
So, hold on. So the Quran states he was crucified?
Do you want the evidence?
Hold on. According to the Quran, he was crucified.
I can answer you. Do you want the answer?
If it's directed to the question I'm asking, yes.
Yeah. All right, good. You see, guys? So all of that just so you could get the answer. You could have gotten it a second ago. Does the Quran say that people thought he was crucified?
Yeah, thought somebody was crucified doesn't mean he was or wasn't.
Right, so they thought he was crucified, correct?
A certain amount of people, yeah.
Good. And if they thought he was crucified, they wrote down he's crucified, right?
It was just the Jews that thought this, right?
No, everybody did.
Okay, so was it quoting the Jews saying...
No, just follow with me. Does the Quran say they thought he was... Nope, don't run.
Hold on.
Does the Quran... Stop.
But was it quoting the Jews or everybody?
Don't run.
Was it quoting the Jews or everybody?
The Jews. And the Jews there were Jewish Christians and Jews who were not Christians. Everybody there was
Jewish Christians?
Were the first Christians not Jews?
Hold on. Didn't previously you said
just
that...
Just wait. Were the first... Hold on. Stop running. Were the first Christians not Jews? This guy keeps jumping from a thing to thing.
You just inferred that the term Christian wasn't a thing until the book of Acts. Now you are inserting that there were Christians at that time.
Are you freaking stupid?
Hold on. Earlier, did you not say that?
I didn't say the apostles, the disciples were using the term Christian, dude. Are you brain dead? When I say
so were there Christians?
Let me finish. When I say the first Christians, I'm talking the first followers of Christ. I'm using this term and interjecting it back to them. Obviously, the term Christian didn't exist. You don't even believe that. What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Yeah, because you inserted Jewish Christian.
Why are you trying to run away? Why are you trying to run away from the topic?
How is that running, bro?
Because we're talking about what the Quran says about the crucifixion. You went, you said the Christian. What does the usage of Christian have to do with what we're talking about? Yes, Christian wasn't used until the book of Acts. That doesn't mean it's an anachronistic reading. I agree.
Okay. So again,
right? So
whatever.
So then
whatever.
can we go right, exactly? So can we go back? No, can we go back to what we're talking about? Stop running.
Yeah. Does history say that the Jews thought he was crucified?
No, I was asking you a question. Don't run now. Don't sweat. Remember?
There's no sweat. But go ahead.
All right. Don't be nervous. Does the Quran say that people thought he was crucified?
Just the Jews, yeah.
Where does it say just the Jews?
Because it was only quoting the Jews.
Bring me the verse that says just the Jews.
Quran 4157, literally saying
doesn't say just the Jews.
Were boasting.
Doesn't say just the
Jews. So show me where it says everybody thought it was.
It doesn't have to say everybody. It just says that people.
Okay, so it doesn't have to say that it was only the Jews,
right? And it's an inference that if people thought if God made it appear that he was crucified, it doesn't matter who was there, Jews or not. Everybody saw him get crucified. Correct?
So was he crucified?
Can you follow with the question, please? Stop jumping somewhere else.
Yeah, you're inserting history.
All right, stop. Focus. Stop going somewhere else. If God made it appear, imagine 2,000 years ago, now Jesus is in front of us getting crucified. Not only Jews are there, there's Greeks there, there's believing Jews there, non-believing Jews there. They're all looking, right? God made it look like he was crucified. Then they all saw Jesus get crucified, correct?
Well, according to Quran, if you're inserting that's what's being inserted?
Did all of them see Jesus crucified?
Yeah, because he was.
Good, thank you. So thank you for conceding. So if
Jesus
all of them,
crucified.
So the Quran says people saw Jesus crucified, correct?
Yeah.
Good. And because they saw him crucified, people wrote down he was crucified, correct?
That's what you're inserting, what your Quran isn't.
I'm not inserting anything. Historically, if they saw him crucified, then they wrote down he was crucified, correct?
Yes, because he actually was crucified.
And if they wrote down he was crucified, people believed he was crucified, correct?
Because he was actually crucified.
Good. Does the Quran affirm those historical things?
That he was actually crucified?
No, that people said he was crucified, wrote he was crucified, and saw he was crucified.
Yes, so again,
thank you for conceding that the Quran affirms the historical data.
Don't run.
Thank you very much. You just conceded that the Quran confirms the historical data.
Hold on. Does history say it was made to appear so?
No, because history is based on observation and based on the best plausible explanation using a naturalistic means. Okay? So history doesn't talk about what...
Okay, so does history say he was crucified or that it was made to appear so?
Do you want the answer or not, sir? Do you want the answer or not? Good. Does history give
What was my question?
You said, does history say that was he actually crucified? Now I'm answering you. Yes?
That wasn't my question.
Does history say it was made to appear
so, or was he crucified?
That is what I just said. Does history say he was actually crucified or he just looked like it? Right?
Or made to appear so.
Right. Why would historians say that it just looked like it if the Quran doesn't give you any historical reason to say that he looked like it?
Yeah, the reason for that is because historians aren't going to obviously be empiricists. Neither are they going to be always there at the time of the event. Hold on.
There you go, my brother.
So therefore, hold on.
There you go, man.
So therefore, they're not, listen. So therefore, what I'm telling you is that historians are not going to simply just say that he was crucified or that he was not crucified.
No, they'll say he
History
was.
itself. Hold on.
They'll say he
hold on.
was.
I'm not
No,
done. I'm not
they'll
done.
say he
I'm not
was
done.
crucified.
I'm not done.
Because the
Listen,
evidence
I'm not done.
suggests so. That's what they'll say.
I'm not done. I'm
Yeah.
saying history itself. Historians can affirm something could have or could have not happened. So if that
Yeah.
is the case, and that people thought he was crucified, that would have been something that
Is
was
there
historically documented.
any Quranic reason to suggest people to think that he just looked like he was crucified?
Is there any Quranic reason
Yeah.
pertaining to history?
Yeah. According to the claim of the Quran, is there any reason we should expect attestation that Jesus only appeared to be crucified?
Probably, I'm pretty sure the Gnostic Gospels say he wasn't crucified.
I said according to the Quranic claim, should we expect any historical corroboration that'll say he only appeared to be crucified?
If that's what's objectively true, then sure, yes.
That claim has nothing to do with what is objectively true or not. The Quran says,
Yes, it is.
no, the Quran says the event looked like it happened to everybody. There is no reason for anybody to doubt that it happened, right? That's what the Quran is saying.
But you can actually prove that that's the case.
Brother,
like
can
you have no
can you
actual
please
objective
answer?
proof.
Is the Quran saying that because people saw it happen, they had no reason to doubt that it happened?
Well, I'm pretty sure, like I said, I'm pretty sure some early Christians doubt that it actually happened.
Forget that. I'm saying, according to the Quranic claim, the Quran says everybody saw it happen because it looked like it happened, and they had no reason to doubt that it happened. Yes?
Okay.
All right. So why should we expect any historical attestation to say that it just looked like it happened? Where would they have gotten
because
that
if the
information
Quran is,
from?
Again, from the literal Gnostic Gospels that say he was not crucified.
The Gnostic Gospels are bullshit.
Oh, so hold on. Why were you appealing to Thomas earlier?
Thomas is not Gnostic.
It's not?
No.
What is it then?
It's just an early text.
What is it classified as according to history?
Gospel literature.
Really?
Sorry,
By
not
who?
gospel literature. Sayings literature. Logia.
Of who? And you take that as authentic?
I didn't say it's authentic. I said it's not BS. It has true chains of transmission.
So who wrote it?
We don't know. Just like we don't know who wrote the Gospels.
Okay, so it's okay for Christians to appeal to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John now. Thank you.
I said we appeal to the relevant data based on the historical critical method. Are you not listening? Or are you choosing?
Is there not relevant data for the Gospels?
No, the Gospels and Thomas and Peter, they're all relevant data.
Oh, okay, so they are authentic.
Are you slow? When does relevant data mean authentic?
What is it relevant? Doesn't relevant data just collect evidence? It's not just collective, a collective of evidence. Is it? Hold on.
Sir, let's try this again because your intelligence level is like down here. Is every relevant text authentic text?
Well, it can be inserted as according to the criteria of it being a possibility of it being reliable. Sure, yeah.
What are you even saying right now? You're not even saying words.
Relevant
like your
text?
sentences don't even make sense. If there is a relevant
Like for
text,
an example,
if it's an early text, that's what relevant means here. If it's an early text, does that mean it's reliable text, that everything in there is true?
relevant doesn't always mean early. Relevant can just be.
I know. I'm
I'm
saying in the study of the historical Jesus, relevant means early.
No, it can just be a continuation.
Oh my God! Continuation of what?
The same theology, the same idea, the same.
According to who? According to whose theology?
Yeah, like according to the early church.
Sir, theology has nothing to do, brother. Orthodoxy and heterodoxy have nothing to do with the search of the historical Jesus. You are literally, your intelligence level is so low. And why are we back here? I want you to concede the Quran does not contradict historical attestation. Can you concede that?
It does.
All right.
No, it literally does.
So we're going to go back. Does the Quran make any historical claim that leads us to believe that there is historical attestation where people had a reason to say that Jesus only appeared to have crucified?
not verbatim, but if claims without evidence can be dismissed. So if the Quran claims that it was made to appear so, that can be dismissed without evidence.
Sir, you're making a category error. Historical claims. How's that a category error? Because historical claims require historical evidence. Non-historical claims don't require historical evidence because they're not historical claims to begin with. The Quran makes... Let me finish. The Quran, when it comes to Jesus' crucifixion, okay, it's making two categories of claims. One historical and one supernatural and hidden. It's making a claim for unhidden information and then giving hidden information. The unhidden information is that people saw, wrote, and believed Jesus was crucified. Is that historically true?
Yes, that he was crucified, yes.
Good. So you just confirmed the Quran agrees with the in terms of its historical claim, it agrees with the historical attestation. The other part of the Quranic claim is not a historical claim. It's saying, although historically people wrote, saw, believed that he died, supernaturally, in its true reality that nobody could have known, nobody could have seen, he was saved. That is not a historical claim because the Quran is saying nobody could have known that historically. Nobody could have had that information historically to begin with. It's brand new information.
Yeah, but which still contradicts, though. Even though if you don't believe it's an historical claim, it's still
contradicts. What does it contradict? I just showed you how the Quran is in complete alignment with the historical attestation.
Again, it's just a simple yes or no. According to the Quran, was he crucified?
It's not a yes or no.
Was he crucified?
According to the Quran, there's two claims. The supernatural one, he was saved. The historical one, based on naturalistic means only, without divine revelation, he was crucified.
Okay, so according to the Quran, no. According to history, yes. That's all you need. That's all the answer I needed.
So can you please tell me what you derived from what I said?
Yeah, you're saying there's a supernatural claim and then there's an historical claim. The historical claim is what we can prove by evidence via history when it says he was crucified, and that the supernatural claim cannot actually be proven because it requires supernatural evidence. I understand the argument.
Right, thank you. So the Quran, in its historical claim, is backed up by the historical evidence. In its supernatural claim,
which can't be proven.
Well, it can. If you prove the Quran to be true revelation using a cumulative case, then it follows and everything in it is true. So, Gio, you just confirmed for us
how
here
is that the case if your God
that the Quran actually agrees with history. Now, what's the historical evidence Jesus went to hell to preach to spirits?
Yeah, I never said that a supernatural claim can be proven.
Good. So you agree then supernatural claims can't be proven via historical naturalistic means.
If there isn't actual evidence.
You lost.
That's not what I am saying.
How does it feel to lose?
No, it's not about losing.
How does it feel to lose? How does it feel to lose again?
You don't even know. You don't even know what my argument was.
You lost. How does it feel to lose?
What was my argument? What was my argument?
Your argument was that the Quran has a historical inaccuracy, and I proved you how it doesn't. And you got.
Yes. Does it say he was crucified? Yes or no? Does he say he was crucified?
It has two categories of claims: a historical one that he was, a supernatural one that he was not, and both of them are true.
Yeah, but again, you can't prove it. You can't claims of evidence can be dismissed.
I just proved that it's historically accurate.
No, because you said in order to prove the supernatural event that it was made to appear, so you need to prove the Quran.
Yeah, that's another argument.
I said you cannot prove the Quran.
That's another.
No.
Wait. What do you mean? I can't prove the Quran.
Yeah. I'm saying you inserted that you can only prove this by proving the Quran is true. I said you can't prove that.
I agree. We could only prove this supernatural information about the cross only if we prove the Quran true. I agree.
And my answer to that was you cannot prove the Quran. The Quran isn't true because your God is not logically possible.
My God is not logically possible?
Exactly.
Why is my God not logically possible?
Well, many reasons. You have the fact that you believe your God is contingent in some respect, or That you believe that your God actively deceived many people.
Wait. What does contingent mean?
Yeah, it just means you're dependent on something for your existence.
That's not what contingency is. You want to try again?
What does contingency mean if it doesn't refer to something?
I'm the one putting you in the hot seat. What does contingency mean?
Yeah, I just said contingent just means you're dependent on something or someone.
That's dependency, is it not?
That's what contingency means.
Is that not just dependency?
Then why'd you deny that?
No, I'm saying, is that not just dependency?
Well, dependency can just be anything that requires you to either go under change or for you to be...
No. A contingent thing is that which could be otherwise.
Yes, in a possible world, something can be true and something can be false.
A dependent thing is that which depends for another thing for its existence. So you don't even know what contingency is, and you want to tell me my God is contingent?
Contingent can mean that your God can be false in a possible world.
You said that contingency means that he depends on something for its existence.
Yes, exactly. For an example, right? Yeah, let's say your God didn't create all creation.
That's not what contingency is.
Hold on. Let me get to it. True or false? If your God is to be contingent on creation, that means in a possible world, if he did not have creation, he could have not have been something.
That doesn't follow.
Is that not a form of dependency and contingency?
Doesn't follow.
Hold on. If your God is contingent on creation,
what is contingent
in order to be something?
What does contingent on creation mean?
Meaning that he is going to need creation in order for him to be something.
He needs creation in order for him to be something? What the heck are you talking about?
You want to hear the argument?
Yeah, I want to hear the argument.
Okay. Is your God relational?
Does he have relational properties? Yeah.
Okay. Now these relational...
There's a lag. Shot, am I lagging? Am I lagging? Still? This Wi-Fi starts.
Bro, you're not lagging. I hear it perfectly, bro.
Okay, it's good now. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, so you said that whatever this aspect is, which is of your God, is to be relational. I'm saying, is this an eternal aspect of your God?
No, non-essential intrinsic properties are not eternal.
What does it mean for these properties to be eternal?
That they're always possessed by God. He doesn't come to possess them.
Okay. So there's things of your God that are not eternal. There's aspects of himself that are not eternal.
Yeah, non-essential properties that are intrinsic are not eternal. That's right.
Okay. And are these going to be things grounded within his whatness?
Are they essential to his essence? No, they're not essential. I just said that.
Okay, so these relational properties are not essential, meaning he had adapted these things when he created, right?
Yeah, we don't believe God is radically immutable.
Okay. So you believe that your God changes?
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, meaning your God can change in some aspect.
In what aspect?
Well, you believe, or you kind of hold to something, kind of what EED holds to, like you believe there's things distinct from your God, but are not inseparable from your God, that can't be eternal. Or
yeah. So
it's something similar.
I didn't ask that. I said, what does it mean? What does it mean to believe that God is not radically immutable?
Yeah, you're just saying in every aspect your God is not unchanging.
He's not changing?
No, that he's not unchanging. What does it mean for God to be immutable?
In every aspect, he's not unchanging?
That's what you believe. You believe that your God changes in some sense.
Right. And what does change relate to here? Not his ontology. We don't believe God has ontological change. So, for example, we believe that when God goes from not creating to creating, that's a non-essential change. Do you believe God goes from not creating to creating?
Well, I don't believe God is dependent on time. I don't believe time is abstract.
Oh boy, what is time?
Time is just going to be the measurement of change.
Measurement of change. How is that not abstract?
Well, my bad. The measurement, which we believe is to be time, is abstract, but the change is actual, real. It's actually.
I never. Yeah, time has not. Yeah, what the heck does that have to do with anything? Time is the.
Yeah, I'm just reaffirming my position.
Right. So time is the measurement of change, right?
Yeah, the measurement is what's conceptual, but the change is actual, real.
Yeah, exactly. But time is not the change itself. Time is the measurement of change.
Yeah, obviously.
Right. So time is abstract, right?
The measurement is abstract, not the change.
Right, but that is what time is. It's the measurement.
Yeah, just the measurement.
Right. So time is abstract, right?
So when I say God is not subject to change or time, I'm just referring to change. I use it holistically.
Okay,
but I don't believe.
So does God not? So God doesn't go from not creating to creating?
No, I believe everything that God does is from an eternal aspect.
So God has eternally been creating?
No, because eternal would require some kind of measurement, but there's no measurement to eternality.
Has there been a time when God hasn't created?
No, because that can't exist in eternality.
All right, so creation is co-eternal with God?
No, because I hold to EED.
How does that save it? How does that change anything? You're so
weird because I believe that the acts of God.
You believe that God is. You believe in a themistic idea of actus purus, but you affirm EED. You're so confused, bro.
Well, I hold to the aspect. So when God creates, everything that He does is from His will and from His actions. These actions are going to be eternal, but the expressions of these acts.
Does He go from not acting to acting?
No, God is not a subject to change.
He's always acting.
No, because always requires a measurement. So measurements don't exist in eternality.
Brother, it doesn't require a measurement. Is God acting always?
What does always imply? What does always imply? What does always imply?
Brother, as long as God has existed, He's been acting, right?
There's no long requires a measurement.
All right, brother, are you okay in the head, brother? Are you?
No, I am.
Serious?
I just know how to use my words.
Is there a beginning to creation or not?
Yes, creation has a starting point.
Okay, that means the act has a starting point.
No, the expression of the act has a starting point.
The expression of the act has a starting point?
Exactly.
So the act is not sufficient?
The act is distinct from the expression.
I understand. Is it sufficient for the expression?
What do you mean, is it sufficient?
Is the act sufficient for the expression? Is it a sufficient
What cause? Are you defining as sufficient here?
Is the act?
You mean, is it the reason for why the expression exists?
Is the act a sufficient cause for the expression?
Is it necessary?
I'm saying, is it sufficient?
Yeah, but what are you defining as sufficient here?
You don't know what sufficient means?
I just don't know how you are implying it here. Are you asking me, does it have as much perfection?
The act, does it have sufficiency to bring about the expression? Or does he need something else? Is the act alone sufficient?
Obviously God acting.
All right, so if it's sufficient, and how could the expression not follow? As the act happens, how is the expression not following if it's sufficient?
Because it's distinct from the expression.
I understand it's distinct. It doesn't have to be identical. I'm saying if act X produces F and act X is sufficient for F, then it follows as act X exists, F follows from X necessarily.
No, because I believe you're doing a categorical error.
So it's not sufficient.
We don't believe. Hold on. We don't believe the. Do we believe the act is eternal or contingent?
The act itself? You just said it's eternal.
Yeah. Okay. And what do we believe the expression is to be?
It's what the act produces.
No, but what do we believe it's contingent or eternal?
Oh, it's contingent, of course.
Okay, so what's the issue with an eternal aspect producing something that is contingent?
There's no issue. I just said, why wouldn't the expression follow from the act?
because it's not identical to that.
It doesn't have to be identical. Is this guy brain dead? Who said it has to be identical?
You're saying
if let's do it this way. Is act X sufficient for F?
Yes.
So F follows from X.
Okay.
Okay. If we have X, then we have F, correct?
Yes, X is the reason for F.
All right. But you're saying there's only, in this case, there's only X and there is no F. It only comes later.
When did I say that? When did I say that?
Oh my God. Is the expression after the act?
What do you mean after the act?
Brother, does the act have a beginning?
The act does not have a beginning.
Does the expression have a beginning?
Yes.
So how could it be a sufficient reason for this expression, for what is being produced?
Yes,
you are saying now X is not sufficient for F because you already agreed if X then F, right?
Are you gonna let me respond?
Yes.
Yeah, so according to the principle of sufficient reason, everything that exists must have a reason for its existence. So if that reason for the existence must be uncontingent, this is going to be the very thing which is going to be the act.
This has nothing to do with contingency or not. Oh my God. Brother, follow.
You literally
follow.
You're asking this. Okay,
brother, you're not following.
My answer
is
hold on.
Brother, you're not following.
I don't get how this has to do. I don't get how this has to do with the argument.
Oh my God, this is so bad. All your friends are laughing at you right now. Sir, does F follow from X?
F follows from X in the sense of it being contingent on X.
I didn't say it's not contingent. Who said it's not contingent?
Okay, so what's your point? What is your point? How does this refute my position?
Does F follow from X?
F follows from X in the sense that it comes from X.
That's fine. So it does follow from X?
How does this refute my position?
So if the act is eternal and the eternal act the effect is produced from the eternal act, then the effect must also be eternal, because if X, then F. It's a sufficient reason.
Nope. Because when it comes to identity,
it's not a sufficient reason?
Anything that is true for X is not true for F.
Oh my God. What does this have to do with identity?
You're literally saying if X is eternal, F must also be eternal.
Because F follows from X because X is sufficient for X. Do you understand?
That doesn't follow.
How does it not follow? You already agreed. If X, then
because
F.
Sufficiency,
right? Sir,
just refers to the reason.
Sir, if X, then F, right?
Yes, if God exists, creation exists.
X is not God. X is the act.
Okay, hold on. Does the act not come from the very power of God?
It has nothing to do with it. X is the act here, not God.
Hold on. Didn't I say that God creates out of his will? Didn't I say that?
What the heck does that have to do with what we're saying?
Does acts come from the will? Yes or no?
Yes. Now, is X...
So is the act going to be identical to the will?
Act. It's not identical. Nobody is saying it's identical. Oh my God, this guy is so slow.
No, I'm saying, is that an issue? Is that an issue to say that the acts are identical?
Who said it's an issue? Who's talking about identity? Nobody is talking about identity.
Thank you. So if I say that the acts are identical to the will, therefore God creates out of his will, it is not an issue.
Out of my stream, bro. Never come back to my stream. Never, ever come back to my stream. Never show your face here again, bro. Holy crap, he's so slow. He is so brain dead. Why is he talking about identity? Why are we talking about identity, bro? What does that have to do with anything? He's such a bot. That's round 2 right there. First time you got 40K views. Let's see how much you do this time. Oh man. Yo, this guy is lost in the sauce, man. Oh my god. They're not identical. What the heck does identity have to do with anything, bro?